Welcome to RTN Member Voices. I'm Robert Firpo-Cappiello, Editor-in-Chief at Hospitality Technology. Our guest is Savneet Singh, CEO at PAR Technology. Savneet, welcome to RTN Member Voices.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're psyched to have you, and want to give you a moment to introduce yourself and the PAR Technology mission to our Hospitality Technology and our Restaurant Technology Network audience.
Sure. Well, thank you again for having me. My name is Savneet. I'm the CEO of PAR. PAR is, it's a leading provider of software to fast-growing and enterprise restaurant chains, spanning everything from the front of house, call it loyalty and online ordering, all the way to POS, back office, and payments. Our thesis is something we call unified commerce, which is unifying the ordering and operations of a restaurant. And our mission is to bring consumers closer, brands and consumers closer to the meals moments that they love. And we do that, we think, by creating a more unified and holistic experience.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, the idea of the unified solution can be very appealing to restaurants for obvious reasons, and we want to hear more about that. I know our audience of Hospitality Technology readers and Restaurant Technology Network members and followers are eager to hear your perspective on sort of the current state of the restaurant industry, and especially where restaurant technology comes into play. What are some current challenges you're seeing or maybe on the horizon, and also some often related opportunities at the same time?
It's hard to answer that categorically, just because a restaurant can mean a lot of things. It can mean a large chain like a McDonald's. It can mean a single store in your local town. It can be something at a fuel stop. It can be something at an airport. But I would say that what we're observing today is certainly, I think, some of the trends that you guys have written about or talked about, which is there's absolutely a slowing of demand. You are seeing consumers being more careful with their wallets. You're seeing menu prices stay flat or even in some cases come down. And you're seeing what I would call caution, but with nothing that's acute, nothing that's like a major drop off, but you're seeing signs that I think we could interpret as caution. I think that's probably being driven by all the macro stuff that we hear about, but it's also, I think, being driven in some way self-reflexive, right? You say things are going to get bad, so then you get more careful, and then you get more things actually get bad. But I'd say that's what we're observing. Now, within that, I would say we have customers of ours that are still growing double-digit same-store sales and don't seem to have any exposure to what we're seeing. And then we have, some customers that I'd say have gone so bad as that they're closing tons of stores. And so it's a really wide range of spectrum. But I'd say if you kind of look to the middle, it's clear that there's a slowing of demand in our end customers' stores. Now, I think that's the challenge, if you will. I think the reason for optimism is, I would say, you're still seeing tons of areas of growth. Third-party delivery is still growing at a very rapid pace across our organization, but also I think across the industry, you're seeing real demand pop in. And you see both Uber Eats, DoorDash, even Grubhub actually have growth quarter over quarter, year over year, and that's, I think, highlighting that the digitalization of the restaurant isn't stopping. If I had data, by the way, on how many native orders we'd have across our industry, I'd give you that, but I suspect it'd be the same thing. And so there's still this move to digital, and I think what that's doing is helping balance this potential slowing of macro demand, but also giving our customers something to reinvest in and something to build upon, so they create more demand. So I think that's really interesting. And then you have, I think, this overarching commentary around AI and what does that mean for the restaurant. And I think a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz, not yet a lot of change, but certainly something people are excited about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of the challenges you mentioned, not only, as you said, we are covering them, they're also being confirmed in some of our customer data, customers reporting that due to inflationary pressures, they're eating out less or choosing value items from menus. And almost more importantly, we're seeing that, like you said, that pullback. It's like, oh, things are going to get rough, so I'm going to pull back, and then things get rough. In addition, that we are seeing a growth of delivery, to your point, especially among younger diners. There are people who on a Friday night who would prefer to order in than go out, and that's certainly not. I don't see an end to that. The logical next question, of course, is, yes, we're seeing these persistent challenges. how can technology help, specifically from the PAR technology lens, of course, then also sort of in general, whether you're a single store or a QSR chain, how can technology help address some of these challenges?
Well, I think that technology helps kind of solve all elements of it. They help solve the demand and the supply side. On the demand side, technology, those organizations that are invested in technology, I think have an implicit advantage against their peers because you can access them in more places with less friction. The organizations that have built out robust online ordering or loyalty or mobile experiences, they're better situated to deal with that decreased demand because their solutions can be accessed everywhere. And that allows them not only to have easier access to their end customers, but also gives them more marketing opportunities. And so I think that on the front end side, you can create more demand by having great loyalty programs, great promotions, great offers, whatever that is you're trying to do. It's just amplified as you have more channels and you have made that investment already or in the process of making that investment. So I think technology helps on the creating demand side there. I think it also helps on the supply side because in the end, restaurants have this challenge, which is if sales are slowing or flat or even down, you've got to do something on the cost structure side. Otherwise, the operating leverage works so quickly against you. And I think that I think is pretty well understood, which is I think you're seeing companies use more and more digital solutions to take orders. Clearly, the quantity of registers per store, I suspect in the next 10 years is going to go down because you're going to be encouraged to place the order on your phone. You're going to be encouraged to place the order at the kiosk, voice, whatever it may be. To help control the cost center of the actual order taking in the store. And then I think you'll see that sort of cost-centric or that ROI thinking spread to other parts of the restaurant, whether that means robots in the kitchen or that just means, hey, we're going to use AI to predict our COGS, our inventory better. We're going to figure out how to use AI to manage our labor better. All of these are things that help you manage your business in a trying time. But conversely, they're also great on the upside because they're basically the same answer on the upside, which is, hey, how do you, if you've got more demand than you expected, well, what do you do? Maybe you put another kiosk in, maybe you push people to the app, maybe you throw in a line cook because the data suggests you can only take this much volume with this much staff, and so you've got the same tools I think help you on the up and the down.
One of the things I love about talking to you is you're able to speak to your point, PAR can address from discovery of brands to ordering all the way through the operational experience, and then through the end, and that's really educational for our audience. I want to give you the opportunity to make a closing statement to our hospitality technology and restaurant technology network audiences. What would you like to leave them with?
I think the only advice I would have, because I think you've got a pretty sophisticated audience, many of whom are customers or partners of PAR already. But, I would say that, don't take anything too extreme. And what I mean by that is things are certainly a little tougher now. I wouldn't assume it's the end of anything. And conversely, when they get good, I wouldn't think too extreme. And the reason why is I say that is I think technology is one of those things you have to continue to invest, just like your people. You're continuing to educate your teams better, think of ways to retain them better, think of ways to support them better. I think technology is just one of those things you have to constantly stay at. So it's one of those things that's very hard to sort of start and stop. So I've continued to make that innovation, and I would tell you that I feel very confident if there's some way to measure the success of the brands that have deeply invested in technology versus those that didn't. I would almost, I'd bet my bank account that those that have invested in technology have done better over time. And so, I'd stay true to the cause. And again, that cause always being how do you serve that end customer better at the same time making your own operations more efficient.
Savneet Singh, CEO at PAR Technology. We appreciate your thoughts and your guidance as always. Thank you for joining RTN Member Voices.
Thanks, Robert.